Okay. I am half Muskogee Creek, half Scottish Tex Wrangler, and this is my very tiny YouTube channel. Almost no audience whatsoever. Hopefully that'll change. Everybody likes to have a few viewers. But I do music videos, and I also do videos trying to expose this shit right here, which is our most grave, extreme national security threat. It's a threat to everybody. I've been to some dangerous places in the world. The most dangerous places you will ever go are large American cities. DeMarcus Nassau, 18, shot his friend Scarlett. I guess Scarlett's parents were either very stupid or they just didn't care enough to teach her to stay away from these fucking wild animals. Shot her execution style in a Burlington, Kentucky home. Public housing is more like it. She was hanging out on the wrong side of town. And she was white. So, he killed her on her birthday because she didn't want him. She never wanted him. Why the hell would she? Zero impulse control, zero brains, zero life prospects. Execute. I couldn't agree more. You know, 99% of the time, the victims, the white victims, they're liberals. But that's none of my business. None of my business. I'm just showing some pretty little pictures that I happen to find on the internet. On X. That's another thing. Thank goodness for Elon. Elon is using his platform, his $44 billion platform, to help expose this bullshit. You watch the things that Elon posts about, you'll see a lot of this. Him pointing out the problem here. My question is, a problem of this magnitude, why hasn't the military intervened yet? Why hasn't the military stepped in? Why aren't they conducting operations in our major cities to go after this shit and to make law-abiding citizens safe in their own fucking country? I would speculate that it's because a lot of our military leadership personnel, the top brass, as they say, in the Pentagon, are a bunch of scum, a bunch of globalist, military-industrial complex, even satanic pedophile scum. I'm just guessing. Elon Musk. Arrest him. I wholeheartedly agree. Person in charge of the UN Security Council had a taxpayer-funded health care company which was convicted of Medicaid fraud and worked as a supervisor in a Medicaid government office. Stop being afraid of being called a racist. Stop being afraid of being called an anti-Semite. You're an anti-Semite. No. I'm just not fucking stupid. And I'm going to call scum what it is. I'm going to point out scum when I see it. And I see a lot of it. Ladies. Facebook Marketplace murder in Segoville, Texas. Never heard of that one. I guess that's a suburb of some major city, obviously. Daquan, nah, son. My name Daquan. You know, I be black. Yeah, I see that. 17. Set up a meeting with William Dean, 39, under the pretense of buying his watch. It was a premeditated ambush. Well, of course it was. If I'm selling something on Facebook or whatever website, and I see that something like this is my potential customer, nah, the deal's off. I'm leaving. Go fuck yourself. Call me a racist? I don't give a fuck. You're a fucking racist. Who's the one killing all the opposite race? Does that make sense? Opposite race? There's a lot of races. But this tends to be the preferred victim of these people. It's like 3,000 to 4,000 of these every year. Murdered in racial hate crimes that never get prosecuted as such by these fucking things right here. I'm just showing some pretty little pictures that I found on the internet. That's all. Nothing to see here. 1 year ago today, career violent criminal Tyrell. Nah, son, boy, you know my name Tyrell. I be black, nah, son. I be black. Yeah, I see you're black. Okay, I get it. Fuck you. Used Facebook dating to allegedly lure a mentally impaired woman, white woman actually, to her death in Fayetteville, North Carolina. What the fuck is going on in North Carolina? Send the military in there, clean that fucking state up, especially Charlotte, Raleigh. Heather Williams, 25, previously suffered serious brain damage from a car accident. I actually know somebody that knows her. I believe they were next door neighbors or something before that individual ended up moving to a town that I'm very familiar with in South Georgia. And he said that her dad is doing everything in his power to make sure that this fucking thing right here never sees the light of day again. With all these leftist activist judges that we have plaguing our country, unleashing this menace to society on the public. With that problem, it's just not good. Hopefully, this White House administration that we currently have in place is going to do something about this. I saw signs that was what was potentially happening, that the administration was going to use National Guard and other military resources to work with local law enforcement agencies to stop this fucking bullshit. You know, it was the left that came up with this racist crap in the late 1920s. But over the decades, they've started expanding their use of this political weapon. All they got to do is call you a racist. And you tuck your tail between your legs and you fucking just shimmy on away. Because of your fears of being painted as a racist and having your life ruined and becoming a target for homicide by these fucking wild animals. That shit's got to stop. Everyone connected with this bail project needs to be arrested, their assets seized, and the organization dissolved. Absolutely 100%. I think it needs to go beyond that. I believe that families, particularly the families of victims of this violent crime, this community, this certain American inner city community that's doing all the fucking violent crime, all the carjackings, all the home invasion robberies, all the jewelry store robberies, bank robberies, flash mob robberies, all this fucking shit. These fucking things right here, I'm not going to call them people. These aren't fucking people. They're humanoid. They're not fucking people. Sorry for my language if that offends anybody. I get a little hot. I'm sorry. Not. But I think that the families of the victims need to stop calling cops. Stop relying on the courts. The courts are only going to side with these fucking things and put them back out onto the street so that they can victimize somebody else. The families of the victim. Listen, this is the answer. It's called private justice. It's called biblical justice. The family members of the victims, the innocent victims, whether they be white, black, Asian, Hispanic, American Indian, whatever, Polynesian, I don't know. No matter what the race, the families of the victims go after the families of the violent offenders. When these fucking things right here, these fucking things, think that if they commit violence against somebody, that somebody's going to be coming for their mama or they sister, nah, son, or they little brother, nah, son, then this fucking shit will stop. Because these things, despite no matter how tough you might think they are, and 9 times out of 10, they're not. Because they're really, really stupid. And a good warrior is very, very smart. These things aren't fucking smart. Well, before I go any deeper, let's just skip to the next picture. How about that? Yes. Yes, indeed. Rutgers University will request $530 million in federal funding this year. Professor Brittany Cooper. Fuck each and every Trump supporter. White religious conservatives worship a God who's an asshole, sign with nothing holy, loving, righteous, inclusive, or theologically sound about him, sign. What an extremely submoronic piece of crap this fucking thing is. Chimpanzees would make better citizens than these things. Rattlesnakes would make better neighbors than these things. Venomous black widow spiders would make better people than these things. Oh my God. Oh my God. This was recently in Atlanta. I believe it started in Lawrenceville and ended in some other Atlanta suburb down in the south, I believe. Christian Simmons, a 16-year-old black male, of course, they always are, requested a ride from Uber in Lawrenceville. Okay, there we go. Ended in Lilburn. I'm sorry, I didn't see that. Then he allegedly executed the driver, Cesar Tejada. I'm guessing El Salvadorian, Honduran, Ecuadorian. I don't really know. 58. And drove his car to Lilburn, Georgia, and then back to Lawrenceville. They don't care what race you are. Their preferred victim would be white. That's what they would prefer. But they hate Hispanics too. And they hate Asians with a passion. They call Asians Buddha heads. Know what I'm saying? Them Buddha heads, you know. They hate Asians because Asians tend to be intelligent, family-oriented, and law-abiding. These fucking things right here hate the law-abiding. And they hate the intelligent. Because they don't have either quality. It's just, when does the military step in? Where the fuck is the military? These things right here kill 3,000 to 4,000 Americans every year. More than any foreign enemy, any foreign regime, any terrorist organization. These fucking things. Why isn't something being done? This is a matter of national security. Where is the military? That's all I'm asking, player. That's all I'm asking. Nah, son. Where the military is? Where the military is? On a different note, there is a reason Venezuela was not free until today. You know who? The Kenyan. The big-eared Kenyan, the cocaine fiend, the one whose own Kenyan family members say is a, how do I say it on YouTube? Can I say homo? Married to a transvestite? Warmly greeting the butcher, Hugo Chavez, while his bus driver and successor, Nicolas Maduro, looks on. We partnered with that country. We built their oil industry for them using American tax dollars, American resources. We built it. We were going to help them run it in a partnership. They kicked all the Americans out, took over the oil industry for the state, meaning for a few communist elitists and all their business partners, their buddies, their associates, their fellow commies, and ruined it, mismanaged it. They're like, give us the power, give us the power, give us the power. Then once they got the power, what do we do with it? What do we do with this fucking power? They mismanage it every time, and people die, sometimes by the millions and millions. That's why we're determined in this country not to let this country fall to communism. It's that simple. Communism is the enemy. It's the enemy of human civilization. But your average ordinary libturd, Marxist lunatic libturd, doesn't understand that. They never do. That's why their opinions should not count. And if they start getting in the way, like we're seeing them do today, then you have to go to drastic measures to control them. Even if it comes in the form of concentration camps. If and you ask me, player. If and you ask me, nah, son. 2 underage girls who were previously reported missing were recovered by law enforcement, and 3 people have been indicted for trafficking. But white supremacy. White supremacy, that's the biggest threat to America. White supremacy. Mm-hmm. Yes. This fucking thing right here. Something like that. You can judge a book by its cover. Something like that is a clear and present danger and should be treated as a grave threat. Because that's all it is. It serves no purpose, no function whatsoever. It has no value. It has no productivity at all. It's only a parasite and a predator. That's all it is. It's completely destructive. It's a cancer. Cancers have to be cut out. Whether you want to cut it out or not, it's necessary. It's not racism. I remember this story. This girl right here, he doused her in lighter fluid and forced it down her throat and forced her to drink it while he was beating her in the stomach to make sure that she drank it. And then he set her on fire. Why? Why, you ax? Because she's white. Don't you understand? She's white. These things right here have demons inside of them, and they hate those who are better and more righteous than these things are. It's simple. It's a demon in human form. It's a demon in human form. He killed this one too because she's Asian, because they hate Asians, because Asians are intelligent and they're family oriented and they're generally law-abiding. That's another thing that these things right here hate with a passion. 3 judges dismissed Somali fraud cases. White liberal women are the downfall of empires. The Department of Education shot $518 million into the hands of Rutgers University in 2025. Bob Bernotas, adjunct professor of jazz. Jazz professor? Really? The fuck? Fucking libturd. Fucking dumb piece of... Upon learning Charlie Kirk was murdered, Bob had zero impulse control and celebrated his death. Thoughts and prayers go out to J.D. Vance on the loss of his fuck buddy. What an obscene piece of fucking filth. I hate the left. I hate the left. These people, they're almost always deviant pedophile scum. 99 times out of 100, that's exactly what they are. They have no moral center. They hate morality. They hate righteousness. They hate Christianity more than anything in the world. These people, their political ideology is their religion. The state is their God. Moving on. Minnesota Senator Tina Smith is freaking out because she was in on it. Here she is with her friend Somali illegal Abdul Dahir Ibrahim, who was convicted in the Feeding Our Future fraud scheme. See, here's what they do. They come in and they guarantee all these federal dollars, all these taxpayer dollars to these fake outfits, such as daycare centers, who funnel a certain percentage back into the hands and the pockets of these leftist scum who've hijacked our government through election fraud, stealing all our wealth and our children's wealth. And they expect you to not come after them. They expect you to not do what the founders of this country so very strongly urged 200 years ago. When they looked into the future and saw this era coming, they provided you with the firearms necessary. But we have amazing, I don't know whether to call it patience or faith in the military or just plain stupidity. I have no idea. Moving on. This dude, remember this dude? He shot this chick right here inside the Capitol. Murdered her on purpose. This thing right here, this fucking thing right here. He was already known to be very neglectful in his law enforcement practices. Once he left his .38 caliber revolver inside the bathroom at the Capitol for 30 minutes before he realized that it was missing. I mean, in law enforcement, trust me, I've worked in law enforcement, military law enforcement and civilian law enforcement at the sheriff department level. You don't leave your firearm somewhere, ever. You check it out from the armory. It's under your care until you turn it back into the armory at the end of your shift. Anything happens to that firearm, your ass is grass. How come his ass isn't grass? Oh, wait, I know, because he's black and nobody wants to fire him because they're all afraid of being called a racist. Well, anyway, he's embezzled millions upon millions of taxpayer dollars through his fake, here it comes, daycare center scheme in Baltimore, Maryland. He's got a fake daycare, just like the Somalis, just like a lot of these Muslim groups, Iranians, Saudis. There's a lot of them. They all have these daycare centers and healthcare centers, and it's fucking bullshit. There's nothing going on. And lastly, Zoran Mamdani's new tenant director, Sia Weaver, explains why home ownership is racist. People like home ownership because they like control, and that's been perverted by deep racism and deep classism in our society. This is why rent control is important. Why do they always look like this? These extremely unattractive, pasty white, lib-turted fucking freaks. Why do they always look like this? These are the people whom the indoctrination works on. See, a lot of people go to school, go to college, watch TV, listen to the media, turn to the media for their news and information. Most people don't buy into it. These people buy it hook, line, and sinker because these people don't have souls. These people don't have Jesus. And when you don't have Jesus, when you don't have salvation, demons come in to fill the vacuum. But who am I? None of my business. None of my business at all. I'm just a mild-mannered businessman. I'm just a guy on this computer looking at pictures. Various pretty little pictures that I found on the internet. A lot of them exposed to the world by Elon Musk. This dude who was supposed to be the great Antichrist figure. Somebody got a hold of him. I don't know if he's a clone or he just had a real nice talking to or what. But Elon is on the good guy side now. Elon is on the patriot side. And for that, I thank him for his service. And with that, I bid your ass adieu.